James Coe here, race director of the PV Tri. I'm here with Coach Rich Floam of Team Next Level Triathlon. And if you're signed up for the PV Tri and you're new to the sport, we wanted to go over how to set up your bike and run for transition, especially when you come out of swim. So Rich here is going to talk about some key things you want to do before the race and how to set up and what some of the best practices are. So Rich, walk me through what you have here.
Yeah, so when you show up for a transition, make sure you have all of your bike numbers and everything that you got for the race. And you bring your bike, you rack it, and everything you need. You try to keep it as simple as possible for this race. We're talking sprint specific here, so you try not to overdo it. Just keep it as simple as possible.
Rich, tell me about this. There's going to be racks, right?
Yeah, there's going to be racks there. So you know where you're going to rack your bike. And when you're going to rack your bike, you're going to rack it by your saddle. Make sure that if you are racking it, that you can take it off the rack and with you as you're coming through transition as fast as possible. So sometimes it might mean you rack it by the front of the seat, and sometimes it means you rack it by the back of the seat. In my case here, the rack is high enough for me to easily take it off, so I racked it by the front of the seat, but you may rack it by the back of the seat as well. So either way you rack your bike, you put it up there, make sure you can take it off and out as fast as possible without hitting everything around you and just going out as smoothly as possible. You'll bring your pump, or if you didn't bring one, I'm sure somebody will lend you one. And you make sure that your tires are at your desired level. And then you're done with the pump pretty much for that. And then you start setting up your transition, and you do it by your discipline. So the first thing you're going to know as you're coming in from swim is you're going to dump all your swim stuff. You're going to dump your wetsuit if it's wetsuit legal, and you're going to dump your goggles and your cap. Keep it as close to where you are set up as possible. You don't want to get in anyone else's way and then have your stuff all over the place. So we're going to go for the bike first, yeah?
And let me just touch on this one point Rich talked about. You don't want to be too wide. Like you mentioned, there's going to be other people. So just imagine here, you're going to have a bike here. You'll have a bike here facing that way. You'll have another bike here facing that way and just staggered. So etiquette is what? To kind of stay about the width of your bike?
Yeah,
not too much more?
Just stay within the width of your handlebars as best you can. Yeah, so when you're ready to set up, you think about what you need as you come in for the bike and go out with what you have. First things first, helmets, always have to put them on first. So one of the most efficient ways is to have your helmet on the handlebars with your glasses already open inside, so that when you come into transition, the first thing you're going to do is put on your glasses, your helmet, and you're going to clip that in. And so you're ready. That's the most important thing. So that's where you want to set them up. You can set them up on the ground if you're not going to be able to set them up on your handlebars. But in every race that I've had, I've always been able to set it up on the handlebars quite easily. And then you need your shoes, and if you're going to use socks. So some people do a flying mount, in which case the shoes are already on the pedals. And for those that don't do a flying mount, you have your socks inside your shoes open. Your shoes, whatever they are, should be open so that it's easy to get into them. And your socks should be open. And depending on the temperature, you might want to put some baby powder inside the socks and the shoes to make it a little bit more dry.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think most races require you to have your helmet clipped as you're leaving a bike transition, right?
Yeah, so that's a very important point. You want to make sure you put on the glasses, helmet, and clip that in. We could talk about things like if it's going to be a cloudy day, if you have glasses that are clear with clear lenses, use those. If it's a sunny day and you want to use something that protects you from the sun, use those.
So Rich, if we have some beginners here that are not clipping into their bikes, how would their setup look different?
Yeah, so for that, again, you still think about what do I need on the bike? And if you're using the same shoes for your bike and your run, you simply have your shoes with socks in them so that you can bike in them, and then when you get off your bike, you can just go out and run with them. If you're using socks, you put the socks open inside those shoes as well. If you're like really into being super fast, you can have those self-tying shoelaces where you could just bungee cord them tight. And if not, you take an extra second to tie your shoes as you put them on in transition.
So for someone who's not clipping in, they're just going to have whatever shoes they're going to run in ready. So they're going to put glasses, helmet, sneakers on, socks on, unrack this bike, and walk out towards, or walk or jog towards a
bike exit. One of the things that you want to make sure you know, that once you have everything set up, the next step in your head is you'll say, okay, where is swim in and bike out, bike in and run out? Yeah. So just keep that in mind after you set up. Just know where you're running to, so that when you grab your bike, you're going toward bike out, you come in, bike in, and then when you go into the run, it's run out in that direction.
At PV Tri, bike in and bike out will be in the same spot. Run out will be in a separate spot, and you're going to just be finishing at the finish line.
Okay. So now you finished your bike and you're coming back and you're ready to go on your run. Also very simple, very quick. You're going to dismount from your bike at the dismount line, which will be clearly marked. You're going to get into transition with your bike shoes and everything else you've put on.
Can you unclip our helmets there?
You want to unclip your helmet after you rack your bike. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to rack your bike, again, front of the saddle, back of the saddle, handlebars, however you want to do it. Just keep it nice and tight. Then you can unclip your helmet, and if you're going to keep your glasses, keep them. If not, take them off, and you're going to set them down. Then you're going to unclip from your shoes. If you're using the same shoes, you obviously are not going to unclip. You're only going to take your bike shoes off, and then you're going to grab whatever you need for your run. And it should be as simple as possible. So if you're going to use nutrition, you grab your nutrition. In this case, we have some Power Bar nutrition with us.
Power Gel shots, Coca-Cola flavor, delicious.
Delicious.
Caffeinated.
Yep. So you may want to grab those. Stick your feet into your sneakers, tie them up, or use those bungees to get a quick tie. And then just grab the rest of your stuff. And the rest of your stuff is a hat or a visor for the run and a race belt with a bib number.
So hold on. Do we wear that race belt on the bike? Because I see a lot of new people, you ride behind people and you see their bib on.
Some people are comfortable wearing their race belt on the bike portion. You don't have to. The rules do not require you to wear the bib on the bike. You only have to wear it on the run. So if you want to and you're comfortable with it, set it up for your bike transition, but you don't have to. It's very easy to slip your feet into your sneakers and just grab, again, visor or hat and your belt that you can put on as you're going out of transition.
And I do recommend use a belt if you can, if that's going to be the fastest, because otherwise you're going to have to safety pin the bib to your shirt or to your shorts. If you're doing that in transition, that's going to take some time. So look for a belt. They're on Amazon. We can put a link in the notes here for you if you want to purchase one. They're not too expensive, but definitely the fastest way to get through transition. Plus, you don't put holes in your clothes.
Yeah. And you should be really quick getting out there with just your sneakers and whatever you need for the run, which should be no more than a belt and a visor or a hat. I would recommend that you put on sunblock for sunny days before the race starts. If you do happen to need it during the run portion, you can have a little sunblock, little packet with you that you can put on while you're getting out of transition or jogging along, but have your sunblock on for a sunny day before the race.
Excellent. So just quick recap. When you're coming in to set up for the PV Tri, you're going to have your bike racked. Our racks will be high enough that you could do it just like we have it here in front of the saddle. Make sure you have your helmet, sunglasses if you need them, your bike shoes if you're wearing them, if you're clipping in with socks. Have some hydration ready. You're going to be leaving transition, helmet first, glasses on, shoes, walk your bike out, then you'll mount. You're going to come back. You basically do everything in reverse. You could take your glasses, helmet off, take your shoes off, get into your running shoes, grab, if you're going to wear a hat, it's sunny, and your race belt, grab those, and then head out to run out make sure your belt is on. If you need nutrition, grab that, and then you're just going to go to the finish line.
Yeah, and for those of you thinking about your nutrition and hydration, where are going to be the aid stations on at the race?
So there will be one aid station. I believe it's near halfway. It's going to be where Hillsdale and Cedar Lane intersect. We'll have an aid station there with hydration if needed, and then pretty much a fast finish to the end.
So you shouldn't need more than one bottle for your bike. So if you bring that, whatever you're using, put that on your bike as you set up.
All right. Have a great race.